everyone, happy May Day, first day of Mania 2020, or for me it would be Stitch Whip Mania, crazy one this year. So I'm doing mostly whips and trying to get some of them closer to the finish line. So I'm gonna start first one with it's called Milady Chateau. It's Dimensions Gold Collection kit, and there's all kinds of things happening in here. I stitched tiny bit on it last night to finish off Magic School's what was that, April's extra stitching credit, to put something in flowers. So this is where I'm starting today. So all of this is what I have done right now, and I think I might be just continue working on the grass to fill up and then going up. So as you see, it's still quite a bit work left to do, so I'm gonna work on that. And I know Pop-Up came out for Magical School before we get the weekly homework on Monday starts. So let's start. As you see, there's some half stitches, some full stitches. We'll see which color is which. So this is what it looks like right now. Good morning on May 2nd, and what you see in front of you, actually what I've done yesterday and late into the night. So that was my May 1st work, and I put in about 1600 stitches in this, even though it doesn't look like is it? So as you can see, I kind of filled in more of the grass. We're extending. There's still quite a bit left to finish the end, and you can see the profile of the girl, and that's where the horse already gonna be. And I have those plants in here growing already, because the manor house is gonna be that part. So yeah, and it's filling up nicely. So since it's May 2nd, I am ready to start something new. And I don't have a pattern printed, so I'll insert a picture of a May dragon. And as you see, this is April, so I have a space in here for May. By my calculations, the April pattern had total about, I made 3,300 stitches, including back stitching. So I figured it's about 3,000 at least gonna be in May. And I think this guy took me a good 12 hours to stitch. We'll see how long it takes me for a May dragon, but I want to start it so it will be worked on throughout the whole May. Probably I'm not gonna just sit until it's all done, probably like last month, since it's Mania, crazy Mania. So I'm ready to start this. Need to find the middle of this part and start putting in the stitches. So that's what I'm gonna be concentrating on today. It's beautiful weather outside. We have all the windows open, and since it's a Saturday, I think we all want some kind of break and do some things outside the house. So I might not put in as many stitches in this as I had in my Milady Chateau, but we'll see. Well, good morning or afternoon. May the 4th be with you, and that's all of our stitching in the past 2 days. So as you see, my May dragon, you can kind of tell sort of the form that's a wing's gonna be, and it's holding a kite. So I put in what, 11 hours I believe in those past 2 days, and since it's been 2 days for this little guy, I need to grab something else. Plus it's a Monday, new month, and School of Magical Stitches has a new homework. And as you see in front of you, that's what I'm gonna start with today. It's hands-on design, Stitching by the Sea it's called. There's a basket and a little cube. And one of the homeworks for this week is let's see, it says in Hollywood studios, when the parks are closed and the stories come to life, stitch in a project that makes you feel alive. And whenever I'm by the water, sea or ocean, which I haven't seen much, but lake or something, even the river, it makes me relax. So water, even though I can't swim far, water is what I love. So if one of the other things, rules, that if you can stitch on something new, you have to do only 50 points if it matches the requirement for this. So I thought actually that that is a basket, and I thought I was fully done with the basket, but turns out there's like a line to go around, but I'll do that later because I have a unfinished piece, so it would be a brand new start for the cube part itself. So I need to stitch at least 50 stitches for that, and it's 10 parts of this week's homework, so I might do this as a penalty stitches for something else since it's going to be already as a whip. But some of the threads are gas, some wigs that works, and some DMC, and this is where I'm gonna start with. So we'll see how much I can put it in. And happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone. We had this morning across the street, car stopped by with music blaring, and 3 ladies came out in a sombrero hats, and they knocked on the neighbor's door. I don't know if there's somebody that they're friends, or you could have hired people to come in and give you like a happy celebration day or something like that. But we watched through the windows, and they had bubbles going on, blowing all around it. So I'll put in the picture what I saw through the window. So it was kind of fun to start the morning to see like that. And what you see in front of you is what I worked in the past few days. A little bit today, and most of it was yesterday. So it's Stitching by the Sea by Hands On Design, of course. And I was doing that for some of the homework, even as penalty stitches. So at first I thought about doing outline because after basket, because I thought I had it all done, finished piece. I'll show you. And turns out that there's like outline that will need to be used when I put it all together. But I decided not to work on this right now, maybe sometime later. So I just started, as you've seen, from like a second ago, that I decided to work on the cube itself. And I'll move this, and ta-da-da-da, this is how much I've done. So I've done, I think, way over 1,000 stitches. And it's very easy pattern to work because everything on all 4 sides is identical. So the way I was going, I just picked a color and kept going all around. And as you can see, my crosses are not the same way here as this, because I just kept like a flipping, like I would do this color for this house, and then I would just flip this way and stitch my normal way. So I just kept flipping and having fun with this, and the time flew by very quickly. All it was used was Wigs Dye Works and Gentle Arts, although you can't tell by some of the colors, like this whitewash is very subtle change of the color, so you can't see in these small pieces, so you practically can stitch with some kind of white, but bright white would be too bright. So I like that it's whitewash, kind of muted white color. So that's where I'm gonna stop with this, and don't know when I'll pick this up again. Hopefully towards the end of the month maybe, or at least in beginning of June. But I think I made a good progress with this. As you can see, there I already started, almost done with all of the sides here to put in, and there's gonna be some waves and things like that. So that's what I'm stopping with, and I'll show you what I'm gonna continue today. So if you recognize me, this is my George. There's quite a few of us stitching this, and this is what it looks like right now. So as I looked at the pattern keeper, this is the 5th row, and actually it's saying I'm over 46% done. But I wanted, my hope is to finish all this row by half point of our work, which is going to be what, in end of August. So it would be 2.5 years been working on this by then, and I'd love to have 5 rows done. The 10th row is not a full, that's why it's over 46% done. But as you can see, it's quite monotonous job, so to speak. And there's nothing, no little things that show up with this. And to remind you again, sorry for glare, my piece is just a piece of the corner, like this much as a whole total thing of this. And there's quite a few Flosstubers that's stitching. I just finished watching Vicky reading and stitching, our headmistress of magical school and reading. So she has somewhere else different part with lots of browns, and she's doing a great job. I can't remember right now from top of my head with other Flosstubers, but there's a Facebook group, open group, and a website that talks about this project. So I'm gonna start working on this today, and we'll see. I want to really do at least over 3,000 stitches this month, because according to my calculations, each month I should be doing like over 3,600 stitches to stay on track and finish this in 5 years. And I did not do even one stitch in April because I did over 7,000 in March. So I kind of was burned out on this. So I need to kind of slow my pace and work on this in a short burst of time. And as you see, I kind of organize my holding threads are these kumi here or something like plastic things that pop open, and my threads are inside, so it don't get tangled up. So this is what I have, and I'll be stitching throughout this whole month, but this is where I'm starting. So ta-da-dam, and probably in a second you'll see how much I've done next. And happy evening on the 7th, 7th of May, and I've been working all this time. Today is the 3rd day on my George, and as you can see, from here to there is a whole page, so it's about, I don't know, 2,400 stitches I've done. So my monthly amount should be half a page more, but I'm gonna stop this right now. I think I've done big enough piece, and I want to stitch at least a little bit on something else from my Maynia side, so I'll show you what I've picked this time. And this is what I'm planning to work on. It's again Brooke's Books, Stitcher's Alphabet, and it's free online on her website. So this is going to be letter G, so that's where I'm going to continue. I already done some of border for this. All those letters are done, I believe, with all the beads and everything. You can see kind of shiny and cryonic. So I'm gonna just continue working on the G. This is 28 count Witchell Lambswool Joblin, and I'm doing that like a 2/2. So let's start, and we'll see. Maybe I'll squeeze in an hour or two for this tonight. And today is the afternoon on the 8th, so it's the next day. And as you can see, the letter G is all done. So the only thing needed to do at the end was the beads. That's different. Everything else is the plain stitches. And some of the colors, it's kind of hard to see, but they you have to really look into. Like, you know, there's the middle and the four corners, so it's all different kind of colors in those granny squares. And I already started also letter H. It's gonna be like a cursive letter H. and I used this for one of the May Extra Stitchy credits, which I did today. He needed 600 stitches to do, so that's what I worked, and this is where I'm gonna leave because I want to grab something else. So I'll show you what I decided to pick next. So this dragon I haven't stitched since well, December of 2019, so I think it's time to pull her out. It's the pillow in the dragon form, and these are my colors and everything else, and it's a 23, I believe, and a half % right now that I have to start with, and this is what you see. So it's exact colors what it's showing, and it's an 11 count A4 over 1 full stitch. So as you can see, the head is fully done and stitched, and I started into this neck part. I might continue to the front, I don't know. I'm hoping to put in 500 stitches before I stop for this dragon, so we'll see. It's probably gonna go into tomorrow too. Also, it seems like I always finish next day something, because it's hard to stop and then I find something that I can use for some you know, points and stuff for magical school. So anyway, this is what I'm gonna start, and it's a cutie and it's fun to stitch and easy to stitch and joy to look at. So we'll see how much I can do before I put this one down. Well, and little dragon is all done. She's done. You can see kind of more what it looks like. All the spaces were filled in with the half stitches, and I made just over 600. So I'll have to send it out and wait for back stitching, and meanwhile, while I still have until tonight to finish my homework, I'll show you what I'll grab. And I'm gonna grab this for this week's homework. One of the parts where stitching a whip that designer's name starts with letters MKPEPIFP, like one of those. So as you can see, designer's name starts with E, Surrogate, so ES would be initials. So the E, it works for that, and because I can match this whip with the assignment, I just need to stitch 100 stitches for that, because if it was brand new started, I would need only 50. So 100 stitches is not a lot, and this is what it looks like right now, and we'll see how much it's not gonna look like a lot with the 100 stitches, but I'm hoping to put in this, and there would be one more part of this week's homework left, and we're about to sit down for dinner. Family went out to get the takeout, and we'll see you, I guess, after my dinner and after 100 stitches in this. So this is what it looks like right now, and in a second you'll see how it ends up with. And hello on the morning of 11th. So before I start working anymore on the next projects, I wanted to show you how much I've done yesterday. So I've managed to fill in 100 stitches with a couple extra in this sleeve, so it went very fast because it was one color. And so after I finished this one, I grabbed another one to finish off the weekly homework. I'll show you in a second. And ta-da! So this is my George. You see how much it's still left, and I'm really would love to finish by end of like August, the 5th row. So I was just working on this one. I needed also 100 stitches. I've done 100, and then I post a picture on a Facebook group, and then I can just continued working on this. So I've started, here is the page 45 already, 45th page started. So as you can see between the needles, that's the size of a page. And again, blue color, I think it's still sort of like a dominant in this area, at least right now. So that's where I stopped last night. So I'm gonna put it all together, all those little bits and pieces of little video clips for you, and then I'll need to upload and start the next 10-day grouping. I haven't checked yet what is this week's homework, so hopefully I can mix it in with my George in there too. So wish me luck so I can continue work on my George, because I really would need to polish my needle to get it all done. So that's it. I'd love to hear back from you which one of the projects that I worked in these 10 days you like the most, what you'd like to see next. You can try to guess what's gonna be hopefully finished next, and I'll talk to you later. This was Jurgita with Magic Punk Crafts saying bye-bye. And today is May 10th morning, so today is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all mothers of kids and pets, because pets are like kids to us too, right? And grandmothers, I guess. So yesterday I continued to work on this dragon pillow, and I'll show you how much I've done since last clip, which was what, 3 days ago or something. So to compare, this is what it is. So as you can see, I kind of went all the way down to the bottom of this blue part of a chest, and already started making those scales in here, and filled in some more stuff. So I think I did in total in those 3 days about what, 1,500, 1,600 stitches. So it's not bad. I wanted to continue, but since it's Mania, I have to be a little bit more crazy and stop and grab something else. And something else is gonna be, I'll show you, brought it down here. So it's gonna be this May Dragon ornament, and this ornament right now I'm just again stitching as regular stitches without the back stitching. Once I'm done with this, send the picture to designer, and then I'll get the back stitching pattern, so you can see again as it looks like right now. Just over 70% I think done right now, so still a little bit more to finish, and all there's not gonna be even one blank spot, so at least half stitch is gonna be filling up those parts. And my hope is right now to finish this one so that I can get the back stitching pattern. So this is what you see, and in a second it will be what it looks like now, hopefully all finished. Well, and little dragon is all done. She's done. You can see kind of more what it looks like. All the spaces were filled in with the half stitches, and I made just over 600. So I'll have to send it out and wait for back stitching, and meanwhile, while I still have until tonight to finish my homework, I'll show you what I'll grab. And I'm gonna grab this for this week's homework. One of the parts where stitching a whip that designer's name starts with letters MKPEPIFP, like one of those. So as you can see, designer's name starts with E, Surrogate, so ES would be initials. So the E, it works for that, and because I can match this whip with the assignment, I just need to stitch 100 stitches for that, because if it was brand new started, I would need only 50. So 100 stitches is not a lot, and this is what it looks like right now, and we'll see how much it's not gonna look like a lot with the 100 stitches, but I'm hoping to put in this, and there would be one more part of this week's homework left, and we're about to sit down for dinner. family went out to get the takeout, and we'll see you, I guess, after my dinner and after 100 stitches in this. So this is what it looks like right now, and in a second you'll see how it ends up with. And hello on the morning of 11th. So before I start working anymore on the next projects, I wanted to show you how much I've done yesterday. So I've managed to fill in 100 stitches with a couple extra in this sleeve. So it went very fast because it was one color. And so after I finished this one, I grabbed another one to finish off the weekly homework. I'll show you in a second. And ta-da! So this is my George. You see how much it's still left, and I really would love to finish by end of like August, the 5th row. So I was just working on this one. I needed also 100 stitches. I've done 100, and then I post a picture on a Facebook group, and then I can just continued working on this. So I've started, here is the page 45 already, 45th page started. So as you can see between the needles, that's the size of a page. And again, blue color, I think it's still sort of like a dominant in this area, at least right now. So that's where I stopped last night. So I'm gonna put it all together, all those little bits and pieces of little video clips for you. And then I'll need to upload and start the next 10-day grouping. I haven't checked yet what is this week's homework, so hopefully I can mix it in with my George in there too. So wish me luck so I can continue work on my George, because I really would need to polish my needle to get it all done. So that's it. I'd love to hear back from you which one of the projects that I worked in these 10 days you like the most, what you'd like to see next. You can try to guess what's gonna be hopefully finished next, and I'll talk to you later. This was Jurgita with Magic Pawn Crafts saying bye-bye.